Hi, this is Misha, and we looked at the Romulan science vessel, as well as the warbirds. Now I thought it was time to look at the Romulan scout, and I have a theory, kind of an idea, I wanted to put forth, that maybe this is a bird of prey, in a way. I'll get to that. So, the scout here, in the real world, this model appeared before the science ship, but in universe it came after. The science ship in universe was introduced in 2350 or somewhere we don't really know about. It was in service by then. The scout, on the other hand, was introduced in 2362, very shortly after the Dideridex warbird. The Dideridex is a very large, capable but large craft. And the idea behind the scout was to have a smaller, easier to produce, possibly faster ship for transport, courier duty, scout patrol, and also planetary survey missions, so some science capability. So what do we have here? This ship is about 90 meters long, tip to tip, so not tiny, not big, but not tiny. It has probably about 2 decks. It can be operated by a crew of 1, but it seems like at least 2 is standard, and can hold up to around 15 probably. Either troops or science officers if it's a survey, or just whatever, or passengers if it's in that role. So it can be operated by a relatively small crew. It's almost an overgrown shuttle, but it can operate autonomously, at least for relatively short periods of time. It has quite a fast warp, maximum of 9.2, so maybe just a little bit more than a warbird. With a cruise of about warp 5. It does have a cloaking device. It does have disruptors. And probably a torpedo launcher, but not confirmed. One of these ships, named Pi, crashed in 2366 on Golden Core, but was destroyed before the Federation could look at it. Same year, a defector, Admiral Jirac, piloted one of these across the neutral zone. And he too destroyed it before the Federation could look at it. They were worried about technology, which tells us a few things. That it was relatively new, enough that they didn't want Federation to look at it. And then maybe they had advancements that they were proud of. It said that this has a compact, very efficient warp drive, which, considering its speed and size, makes sense. Could have also had an enhanced cloak or weapons. Total speculation there. But this was the scout craft used by the Romulans in the 2360s, and I'm sure into the 2370s. It was more built for speed than fighting. And I have a theory, at least a thought. What if this is either the modern warbird, bird of prey, or what replaced the bird of prey? I have the bird of prey from Enterprise here. Mostly because it just kind of looks better with it versus the TOS one. But actually the TOS shape-wise even matches more. The bird of prey is 130 meters long. Also has a relatively small crew, but we don't know how many. So basic same crew and size. The bird of prey was also used as kind of a test bed for new technologies. In Enterprise, it was for the brand new cloak, and in the TOS, it was for a new version of the cloak, as well as a new plasma torpedo. And the Scout maybe was a new test bed for warp. And they both seem to be used for scouts. If you look at the bird of prey from the TOS, it's often called a scout. So what if either this here is still considered a bird of prey, or is what replaced the bird of prey? Just a thought, since we don't see birds of prey in the 24th century. Just a thought. Non-canon sources call this a Lenora class or Talon class, but this was never confirmed on screen at all. It was a physical studio model as it was seen in Season 3 of Next Generation. I don't believe it was ever built as a CGI. I'm kind of surprised they didn't use this in the Dominion Wars as kind of a fighter, but they didn't. And of course, as I said in the episode with the science ship, to make the research vessel, it was modified with extra modules and stuff. Also to make it look larger. So yeah, the Romulan Scout. Now the Eagle Moss model itself was pretty much constructed just like the science ship. Metal on one side, polymer on the other. This has been made a few times. I know Micro Machines made one of these and probably one or two other models over the years, but it's certainly not as widely produced as, say, the Warbird or even the original Bird of Prey. So relatively scarce example, and always nice to have another Romulan ship in the fleet, if nothing else. And it's a neat ship. It's nice to see that not everything is the giant Warbird, that they actually had smaller, more practical, more efficient craft. And that's why I thought we'd have a little bit of a closer look at it. It actually seemed to handle and pretty well when Admiral Jurok was fleeing with it and actually took some punishment, so it seems to be well shielded and armed. Probably a very capable craft for its size. Well, that's about it, folks. Any questions or comments, do please post them below. As always, if you could like, share, and subscribe, that'd be great. Also, check out any other videos that might interest you. This is Misha, and I will catch you next time.